down to the pickup truck cafe to drink coffee here every day and sit and watch the time just fade away. Down at the pickup truck cafe. I still love creating, being creative, and pretty fortunate, that we're surrounded by some creative people that can contribute and help, some of our friends and the tools that they bring to the table, and I feel so fortunate to have been able to come across so many talented people and that contribute, in so many ways to what I've been able to do. I hate to take too much credit for my own work because I feel like it's such a collaborative effort anymore. I think the Brent and Andy show, is over the years as it's evolved, is such a collaborative effort, and it's greater than the sum of its parts. I think about last night, when we got into through the lightning storm and waiting on the thunder. Those people, that crowd was in our pocket.
They were. Yeah, man, and it makes it so much easier when a crowd is there and they're hungry and they're hanging on it all and they're soaking it in and they understand
They get it.
And they get it.
Yeah.
Oh, how cool is that?
Yeah, and it's not just us that has had a pretty rough year.
Yeah. Well, I think what you said there is right. It's a collaborative effort. Many times people come up to me after a performance and they say, "Oh man, that was outstanding. It reminds me of this story."
Yeah.
And then they tell me that story, and I tell them, "You realize this is going to end up in a cowboy
Yeah,
book."
right. Yeah, be careful.
Be
what you
really
tell
careful
Cowboy.
what you're telling me, because So the collaborative effort comes, for me, a lot of it comes from the crowd.
Yeah.
They come up, they tell stories, they say, "Man, that reminds me of this time when this happened." And it's a collaborative effort in that they are contributing to it.
Yeah. I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I just want making sure that was the one we were doing, so go ahead. It'd be a good segue right there had you jumped right in.
I tune because I care, okay? Somewhere tonight on Big D-double-L, you're watching the sun go down. There's a chill coming on and the fire's burning well as you look out across hallowed ground. There's a coyote dancing along Maggie Draw. There's a golden hawk perched on the wire, and there's a bedroll awaiting for your head to fall as you stare deep into the campfire. And I've been camped where you are, and I've wished upon the same stars, and I would give every last penny I'll spend if I could be 20 and cowboy again.
He now assumes the posture of the shoes he used to nail. He's permanently bent and also looks a little frail. His fingers are shaped like he still holds a hammer, and his hearing's fading from the anvil's constant clamor. Pursing horseshoe nails carved a valley in his lip, and squeezing hooves between his knees has wrecked at least one hip. His arms boast the battle scars that read like rural road maps. They are tattoos with better stories from multiple mishaps. The textures of his shoe and apron match his weathered skin, and the two-tone lines upon his face are deep and etched within. But more worthy and impressive than all of this instead is the wealth of equine knowledge he stored up in his head.
On an old Texan saddle with no buck and rolls and a hand-me-down shank snaffle bit and a rawhide riata, it's too long to hold, and a pair of old chinks that don't fit. 17 miles from the highway across to the head of the summertime range, and there's no one but you and the crew and the boss, and there's nowhere to hide if it rains. And I've been camped where you are, and I've wished upon the same stars, and I would give every last penny I'll spend if I could be 20 and cowboy again.
He showed me that a horse is more than just a working tool, and that education comes from sweat and not just from a school. He taught me that a horse can mend a shattered, broken soul, and there is no better healer than a newborn baby foal. I learned from him a horse won't judge you by your roping skill, but he'll not forget the man you are if you break his will. He showed me how to work a bronc and do it without force. I learned more about myself than I did about the horse. He's forgotten more about horses than I will ever know, and I care for that old shoer more than I can ever show. In these days, good horsemen seem to be rarer and fewer, and I was lucky to have been taught by that old shoer.
I've got a place of my own, and I've got a woman I love, and I am never alone, but sometimes that just isn't enough, 'cause I've been camped where you are, and I've wished upon the same stars, and I would give every last penny I'll spend if I could be 20 and cowboy again. That's one of my favorite Andy Nelson poems. He wrote it about one of his mentors. Andy's father's a horseshoer. He grew up out in the Great Basin, kicking around on those old roads at the Wine Cup and all over that country.
Oh, great stories, too.
But that poem is about old Ed Brewer the shoer.
That's right, Brewer the shoer. I tell you what, Brewer the shoer is 85 years old now. He lives in an assisted care place, skilled nursing facility, I guess is what they call it. And the only thing he can fork now is an easy chair, but pre-COVID, I got to go visit him every Sunday. And we'd sit and we'd talk and we'd ride and we'd shoe, and we were the best there ever was. I figured out that the older we get, the better we were.